Rochester Winter Parafest is back, March 25th, 26th, and 27th of 2022. Come say hi to Naked and Afraid celebrities Melanie Elizabeth and Trent Nielsen, Haunted Case Files Jack Kenna, Monster Quest, Steve Coles, and more. This event has it all: paranormal investigators, UFO researchers, Bigfoot researchers, and even photo opportunities for the kids with Buddy the Bigfoot. Oh, okay, adults too. Come on down and get a tattoo from Ink Master Tony DeVille. There are psychic gallery and individual readings, as well as radio personalities, authors, jewelry, makeup artists, and so much more. It's only $15 per person, and children under 10 are free. March 25th, 26th, and 27th of 2022. For more information, go to WLFE-DB.com. Yes, Winter Parafest is back. Valley Oak Event Center, Geneseo, New York, next to Denny's. WLFE Digital Network is now on digital television. If you're into ghosts, Bigfoot, UFOs, and the creepy, then WLFE has a TV channel for you, Paranormal View. Watch all of your favorite WLFE video talk shows on one channel. Shows like Paratalkradio, Step Into the Paranormal, Skeptical Help Bar, The Creepy Parlor, and more. Looking for something else? Do you support the LGBTQ plus community? WLFE has brought all of their LGBTQ shows like Inside the Drag Closet, Everything Yet Nothing, Across the Pond, and Rainbow Soul all into one place. A new TV channel called LGBTQ Friends. The third channel is a Variety Unlimited. Here you'll find a wide variety of talk shows you know and love, like Just Cindy, Card Pulls and Coffee, Real Talk with Dom, The Bipolar DM, Meet the Author, and Movie Review 5. The best part of watching these shows is that they're all available to watch at one location, one website, WLFE-DB.com.
You are listening to WLFE-DBradio.com, where our shows are your shows.
Listen to the WLFE-DB podcast, available on Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Check out shows like Paratalkradio, Inside the Drag Closet, and Step Into the Paranormal. Now, on to your favorite podcast app.
This is Dominic Santasero with Real Talk with Dom. You are listening to WLFE-DBradio.com, where our shows are your shows.
Hey guys and dolls, this is Casey DeVille, the better half of DeVille Inc., Baltimore, Maryland. If you're ever in Baltimore, stop in and see me and Tony. Invisible Bree, 5920 Eastern Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland, 21224. Give us a call if you're in the area, 410-400-9641, or look us up on the web at DeVilleInc.com. DeVille Inc., where we specialize in you.
Oh, yeah.
A small hollow in North Carolina. There have been several Bigfoot sightings.
Hunters may need to be on the lookout for something other than deer when they hit the woods this week.
He hadn't been spotted recently, but according to these pictures, the legendary Mothman is back.
The number of UFO sightings is soaring tenfold over the past 25 years.
Now, she's not talking about people. She is talking about ghosts hanging around what some say is a real-life haunted house.
You're listening to Paratalk Radio with Ted Wolf and Psychic Cindy on Paratalkradio.com, a member of the WLFE digital broadcast family. Paratalk Radio is your one-stop for all things paranormal, the unknown, and the supernatural. Join us every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central for discussions and guests on topics such as ghosts, hauntings, Bigfoot, UFOs, and more. This broadcast is rated M for mature and is intended for listeners over 16. The topics, views, and opinions expressed on our show may not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Paratalk Radio, our hosts, or our sponsors. Now, live from J-Wolf Production Studio in Ontario, New York, here are your hosts, Ted and Cindy.
Nope, here's Ted. No Cindy. Cindy's in the background there. She'll be with us in just a second. So, guys, I'm excited about tonight. We get to talk to a couple here that we have not talked to in a long while, and we miss them. It's been well over a year since we talked to them, and to see how they're doing and all the good stuff. But, you know, before we get into that, I want to say real quick to Michelle. Hello, Barry Martz. Hello, Steve Barry. I can't see. Hello, Michelle Millens. There's a couple other too that I can't see over here on this side. But, you know, all the network, we got all Cindy's waving in the back room. She's in the green room waving. But yeah, she's, oh, hell, let's bring her up.
Hi, everybody.
From one nut to another nut, you know? Oh,
that's right.
Maybe I'll turn on this light. Oh, there we go. Now I'm brighter. Woo! So, how was your week or weekend?
Pretty good.
Good.
Pretty good. Is that too bright? That's too bright.
Yeah, I guess. So, you know, hello, Chuck Tallman. Thank you for watching.
Can you believe I finished my eyelashes and my dinner and got here just about when I was supposed to?
Hello, Chanel. Chanel's in there too. It's funny because Chanel just comes up as Facebook user. I don't know why.
Why is that happening?
I have no idea. Hello, Robert White.
Hi, Robert.
So, yeah, there's plenty popping in right now. This is very cool. Hello, Bob. Bob Burnell.
Homemade chicken fingers. What do you guys think?
Yeah, well, Bob just went to get his cookies, he said. So he went to get cookies. So I started my keto. Well, not really keto. I started a new diet 2 days ago.
You did?
Yeah, because I got yelled at by my doctor.
Well, because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I know. My A1C was a 10.
What is it supposed to be?
6.
For fuck's sake, Teddy.
So
that's crazy. Hang on 1 second.
All right, she's already started with the F-bombs, folks. What are we going to do with her? Anyways, so Teddy's got to get himself healthier, so he's back on the diet. And Robert White says chickens don't use fingers. Yeah, they don't have fingers, so I don't know where that comes from.
I have to get all my drinks that I've been drinking.
Wow. Terrible. Dunkin' Donuts, huh? Or no, where's that?
Oh my God, that's hysterical. Mine is a matcha, frozen matcha with no sugar.
Mine is plain iced tea, so we're all good to go.
See, mine is matcha tea.
Hello, Michelle. She's like, hello, Ted and Cindy. Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hello. Oh my goodness. Kathleen is, give me a sec. Okay, you can get a sec. That's Kathleen Watering here. Robert says that his A1C was in the 20s. Shame on you.
What the frick? Oh my gosh, what is going
terrible.
on with you guys?
We're men. We're men. And tight. All right, so you guys know and love them like we do. You know, it's been a year, a good year, maybe a little longer. Since we've had them on, and I just reached out quick to Maria and said, hey, we want to get you back on the show. We haven't talked to you in forever. We haven't seen you in forever. And she's like, yeah, let's do it. So, you know, I was really happy. And I got some good surprises coming up for shows in the next month for the month of June. I can't wait till we get to that month for you guys.
Yay!
I have reached into the bag of the unknown and pulled out some things.
You couldn't have any chance, Simeon.
So, all right. So let me get into this real quick. It says, J. and Marie Yates are most commonly known for their frequent appearances on popular paranormal reality television shows such as, but not limited to, Ghost Adventures, Haunted Case Files, Paranormal Witness, Ghost Adventures Aftershock, and The Scariest Night of My Life. And I'm sure there's plenty of other ones. Jay, being haunted since birth and undergoing a near-death experience, has created a lifetime of personal paranormal experiences. Marie inherited these hauntings in marriage, has brought the Yates family haunting countless supernatural encounters in and outside the field of the paranormal. The Yates family haunting has been captivating audiences around the world for the better part of a decade. The Yates appear regularly at events and lectures discussing their own ongoing paranormal experiences, as well as the knowledge gained with them being haunted survivors. So it also says here, outside of lectures, radio, television, and the events, the Yates have a strong drive to help families that struggle with paranormal as they once did. The Yates aren't your average paranormal investigators. The Yates spend much of their available time conducting what they call paranormal consultations rather than often damaging paranormal investigations of family homes. So let's see. Together, they lead a successful team of passion-driven paranormal investigators into the darkest corners of the desert Southwest. The Yates founded Crossover Paranormal Society, the COPs. It says COPS, C.0 or O.P.S crew. 0. I don't know why I said that. To help both the living and the dead, their ongoing mission is to seek only truth, understanding, and proof of the paranormal by any means necessary. So, I think without any further ado...
Teddy, you're so tan!
Tan? It's dark, baby. It's dark.
You're
5
so
days in this...
tan. Look at Casper over here.
Yeah. So without further ado, let's get to
bats and I have skulls.
Yes, I'm batty today. All right, so let's welcome Jay and Marie Yates to the show, guys.
Hi,
hey, Jay. Hey, Marie.
Hello.
Hello. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, we're doing all right. It's been a long time. I didn't even know how it came up. I think we were talking about you or something, and I'm like, man, I got to reach out to them and see how they're doing and get them back on here. That, and I always mention to you about the Parafest. We want to get you there someday.
Yes. Right, absolutely.
Be fun to have you up there.
Be honored.
Glad to be back on.
Oh yeah, it's just we like to keep up with people we've had on the show, and you guys, when you first came on, you guys kind of struck a family nerve, I guess, with us. So we're kind of like, hey, how are they doing? Let's get them back up here and let's chat. So that's good. So Robert White running around the forest looking for fights. Oh, he was singing part of that. We're men in tights. Thank you, Robert. For finishing the next line. I was like, what the hell is he talking about? That's cool. Mr. Jason Bergeron. Hello, sir. Hello. So, let's chat. What's been going on with you guys lately?
What you up to?
Sorry, our pit bull is trying to get in the...
hey, it wants love, too. It wants love.
Let us see. Let me see. Let me be in there.
Yeah. So... anything new with the paranormal stuff happening with you guys personally, or you just been out, helping people, even though it was kind of hard with the COVID, but, what you been up to?
For the past year, with the whole pandemic, I mean, it kind of put a big, nail in everyone's coffin. So we spent a lot of time out at the ghost town, Vulture City. And it was actually beneficial, though, because you got to do, a lot of great investigating out there. Just some real ongoing research that we always say we want to do. But It was really nice to kind of be able to kind of hunker down and uncovered a lot. So it was kind of fun,
Right.
did a lot of consultations on the phone and emails and a lot of Skypes and stuff, of course, throughout this year. Finally, things are looking like they're getting back to normal, hopefully, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we found the same thing. I mean, with COVID, the only way you could help people was doing a Skype or phone call or internet. We found that the whole time that people were sitting home for the year, a lot of calls came in and said, "Hey, I've never noticed this before, but I got this going on in my house." And it's like, well, let me guess, you worked a day job and you didn't know it was happening. They're like, well, yeah. If it was happening at night, and that's a common question. Well, I know it's happening at night. Does that mean it's happening during the day? Usually, but you're not there. So you don't know. So we got a lot of really funky calls. I mean, it seemed like that there was just this burst of, people, coming out just in the past couple months saying, "Hey, I got all this going on." And it's because the year they were sitting there, they were experiencing all this stuff and they didn't know who to call or turn to.
Exactly. And they were finally paying attention to it during the pandemic, right?
Oh, yeah. Hello, Mr. Ernie Atwell from Step Into the Paranormal. Thank you for joining. And Cindy's knocking stuff over.
So I had to get my heating pad, which is my rice.
Okay.
My hip is not doing well on this chair tonight.
I believe this is Chanel, and she says, "I love your dog."
Oh.
Chanel, why are you coming up Facebook user? I don't understand it.
With her daddy all the time.
Ah.
She doesn't like it when mommy sits by her.
And today it's especially hard for her.
And she's moaning behind us.
She's crying right now, actually.
She's crying. She's supposed to be in the middle of us.
Yeah.
Oh.
Poor baby.
Poor thing.
Okay, Cindy, do you want to try that name?
Which one? Okay, hang on.
Down on the bottom. I see a Michelle.
Netco Magnabosco.
Nice. From Maricopa, Arizona.
Maricopa County, Arizona?
Oh.
We have a city called Maricopa now, yeah.
What's that?
We actually have a city called Maricopa now.
Oh, you have a city named Maricopa too? Oh my God. All right.
Hello, Jackie Skendra, for watching as well. I'm trying to watch two feeds because for some reason, the whole StreamYard and Facebook lately, we're not getting all of the comments from all the different pages. And
really?
we got 6 pages up of running live right now, including the TV networks, and we can't see the comments, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's something with Facebook or StreamYard. It's one of the two at this moment. So doing my best. So if you guys can hear me and I don't say hi to you, that's probably because I don't see you. So if you want your name read, you have to actually make a comment.
She said Facebook hates me.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
well,
wait, did you?
Robert White says, "That's okay. I found the in crowd." There you go. You're on the right page. There you go. Hello, Octane. Nice to see you, sir. So, this whole, what do I want to call it? An influx, maybe, of paranormal calls and stuff. It's been crazy. So for you guys, it's been the same thing, right? I mean, you guys have been getting a lot of stuff. Yeah.
We were still able to host tours and whatnot at Vulture City because in Arizona it was an outdoor recreational type thing. So we got to connect with a lot of people with that as well.
Nice. I mean, they just started here in New York, some of our shopping malls and stuff well, I shouldn't say malls because they don't have malls anymore, but the stores and stuff are saying, "Hey, you don't have to wear your mask anymore." So we're getting to that point, which is really, really good. And we've been a couple of investigations as well. So, I mean.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. So. I think it's Arizona. If you're vaccinated, you're able to go around and wear without your mask and stuff. So it was nice going through Walmart without my mask.
I did that today.
I just want to say, and maybe I'm going to be the downer here, but I've had too many people that have seen things and heard things that People are still getting sick with COVID-like things. Some of them are coming up positive for COVID after having their shot or shots. And some people are coming up negative, even though they are absolutely COVID symptoms with no taste, no smell, 105-degree temperatures, sick as a dog. So just be careful, you guys.
Well,
you know what? Even before all this, I always thought it was really weird that people had to remind people to wash their hands and use sanitizer and all that.
No,
I
come on.
wasn't germophobic anyway, so
come on, Marie. Haven't you ever
just glad everybody started joining me, you know? So I'm like, okay.
Haven't you guys ever stood in the bathroom at a public place and seen how many people just go from the stall out without washing it? Why we have to be reminded to wash our hands, because I'm the person at the sink going, that's disgusting. That's disgusting. So am I passing judgment on people? Yep, you're right. I am. You know, piss gets on your hand. Shit gets on your hand. Wash your fucking hands. That's all I got to say.
Well, that was pretty point blank, I think.
I think it is. But it is sad, right, Marie, that we had to tell people to do these things.
Yes. Right? Well, when I put it into thought, I'm like, well, I always have been doing this, but if people really haven't been, that's really gross. So,
exactly.
Okay, I will say I look at everything completely different now. Even with me being a germophobic, like I am. I will not eat at a buffet place. I mean, I feel bad for those businesses, but I will never eat at a buffet probably ever again.
Did that before.
I never did it before, but now you guys talked me into it a couple times.
That's in Vegas. That's different.
But like now I'll never, and I feel bad for those businesses. I really do. It's just like, no.
It is so funny because Marie looks like she has a tail. It's the dog tail. It's the dog tail just sitting there just right. And it looks like she's got a tail.
Is that the dog's tail, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's right here. She's squishing me like over to.
That is so funny. I'm like, wait, how could that be the dog's tail? Is it like up and around?
Sure, in the couch, man. She wants to be next to Daddy, but Marie says no.
Oh shoot! I better plug in my computer.
Let's see here. Barry Marsh says, "Yep, Cindy, I see that at work too. Stall to the door. Yuck." Robert White says there should be a red light over the toilet door that activates if the user does not wash their hands.
You wouldn't know until they're leaving. But
maybe they should do. I mean, here's the thing: porta potties. If you use those, Marie probably doesn't because of germaphobe. Porta potties,
because I'm a germaphobe.
They have that hand sanitizer right there on the door when you go to walk out. So, and now they actually put all those extra things that squirts water and has soap for you right outside the door as well now. So depending on where you are, but yeah. But anyways, I don't want to spend any more time on washing hands. So yeah,
Yeah, Kathleen says used plenty of them in the military. Porta potties, she's talking.
Okay.
Listen, anybody who's going to concerts and you have to use a porta potty, I'm sorry, at one point, because unless you're pissing yourself right there, or you haven't drank a damn thing. Oh, that was the other thing. Did you see that, Teddy?
What?
We have concerts that are happening at Canandaigua.
Yeah, Finger Lakes is
amphitheater.
Yeah, the Finger Lakes is going, and so is Darien Lake.
Only if you have been
vaccinated. Yep, that's the only way you can go. Yep.
I don't know about Darien Lake. CMAC it is.
Yeah. Well, it's going to happen. Like I told everybody last week, there was on public transportation already. People are being told if you have not had your shots, you need to sit at the back of the bus.
Wait, what's that?
Yeah. Oh. Public transportation. If you have not had your shots, you have to sit at the back of the bus.
Oh, boy.
So, what?
Yeah.
That is very weird.
Yeah,
that's bullshit.
It is.
Bullshit.
It is, but that's what places are doing. Like even where my store is, we still had to sign up because stores are able to say if you don't have your vaccination card, you have to wear a mask in the store.
I'm fine with wearing my mask. I don't have a daggone problem, but you're not going to force me to get a goddamn vaccine when it has not been FDA approved, and it has, and for someone like me who is allergic to every antibiotic that's out there, no.
But how do you really feel about that?
That's to the vaccine.
That's to the vaccine. Well,
to the vaccine.
Yeah. So here's the thing, guys. No matter what we say when we talk about it, it's like everybody else. We have our opinions, and we're not going to make 100% of the population do anything. So let's move on.
So we're hoping the world starts doing, right?
Well, we're hoping the world starts spinning the way it's supposed to. I've been seeing
spinning the way it's supposed to, because that's science.
Sure, Cindy, sure. Let's see. Barry Mars says the State Fairgrounds concerts this summer have sections for vaccinated and non-vaccinated folks.
Oh wow!
The nuns have to wear a face mask. This is the funny part. Wouldn't it be funny if the nuns didn't get sick and then the vaxxers did get sick? That would kind of make me chuckle. Maybe I'm just a dick.
It's pretty funny, even with all the people that got vaccinated.
Yeah.
You have to remember, for about a year now, everybody's wearing masks. Everybody's staying social distancing. No one's going in restaurants, no nothing. So we're all not used to any kind of colds anymore. So now if we're starting to get together with people, guess what? You're going to probably start getting some colds and some extra other flus.
That COVID was bad. Wait till the common cold flu.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And ghosts are jumping around and having a great time because they don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, true.
I will tell you, they know about it because we've actually been documenting it with our research at Vulture. Yeah. They actually bring up
extremely intelligent.
A whole bunch of things. They say coronavirus. They've constantly say mask up. They've said mask up on quite a few different things.
It's even happened at other locations that we were able to get to during.
Wow.
They say 6 feet apart, but I mean, where we investigated in 1918 to 1910 to 1918. They had the Spanish flu, influenza, and it killed thousands of people. So, hundreds.
At the time.
Yeah. So.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, James Shrull just put up there, still wonder how they made it through 1918.
Yeah.
No kidding. 100 years later, look at us repeating.
But I think it's been that way for several centuries. Because that's what they were saying. Before we got to 2020, they were like, okay, 1920 brought this, and what was it? 1820 had this, and
right.
Yep. Oh, James, I love your logo.
Page up.
This says Pizza King.
Nice. Love it.
Bastard, just because I can't have pizza anymore. Hello, Mr. Bob Brunell, Captain Trips.
You can have pizza, you just make it differently now. You use cauliflower crusts instead of regular pizza pie crusts. They're delicious, Teddy. You better stop knocking it till you try it. Put a little on your plate.
I honestly love being fat. I do. But it's my A1C. Marie's like, what's wrong with this guy? But, it's just, ugh.
You're daft right now. You're daft right now. You know what daft means? Dumb as fuck.
I know. Done with Teddy. Teddy's done with that. But anyways.
Teddy, stop. We've been on Teddy for a while. He did eliminate some weight, and then he
30 pounds. 30 pounds.
Then COVID hit. We weren't in the studio, and Cindy wasn't on his rear end every week.
Yeah.
Munching on your booty.
Yeah. But anyways, so I see there's a lot of new paranormal shows coming out as well. We're going to have a couple guests here in June or July. Some friends that actually went back to back into like TV paranormal investigation. It's weird how over the COVID period, the whole year, that we were seeing new shows like, well, actually, I think it was 2 years, maybe 2 seasons. We were seeing Ghost Nation, the new Ghost Hunters, and all that stuff. And Ghost Hunters now is gone with
is it
Jason
really?
or with Grant, and now, So now what happened is Discovery Plus has bought, whatever. I'm from the woods. Bought. Anyways, has purchased. Okay, is that better? I believe that's who it was that purchased Ghost Hunters now. And so the original crew of Ghost Hunters is now coming together, minus Grant. So that is coming back as well. So, but some of our friends from some of the other shows have also gotten themselves some new shows. And we'll see what happens. So,
wait, what did you just say? The original?
The original Ghost Hunters are coming back. So I think Ghost Nation is going away. Yeah. So, but I was going to ask Jay and Marie, because this is something I've always wanted to know, and I don't remember if we talked to them about this the first time. It's been so long. But they've been on with Mr. Zach Baggins on his show. So I want to know, just me personally, what do you think of the guy?
We've filmed with those guys on and off for the past 8 years?
Almost 10, yeah. Going on 1 year.
So we've been working with them on and off quite a bit. In fact, helping them find locations and whatnot quite often.
Are they easy to work with?
Yeah, I mean, like, I do hear a lot of like people say, different things, of course,
right,
about the group of guys. I mean, we've also worked with them so many times. I think maybe it's a little bit different with us. Maybe they're a little bit more personable with us than what they would be with maybe someone that they haven't worked with before.
Right.
But honestly, sorry, I have to clear my phone out. I think that they definitely, Zach specifically gets a pretty bad rap, and people thinking that he's this kind of way. In fact, the last time we filmed with him was at Vulture City. It just aired around Easter on the Discovery Plus app. My son Brandon, we'd worked with them like many times before, but we never had our son around. And it just so happened that our son Brandon was with us, and I didn't realize like what a big fan he was of Ghost Adventures. And during COVID, I guess he was like binge watching like all the seasons, and I didn't know that, right? And then all the ones, of course, that we've been on and whatnot. And he was talking a little bit about it, and then when he found out that they were coming, he had this huge interest all of a sudden to meet Zach and the gang. And I'm like, well, I don't know, because of COVID restrictions, if that's going to be possible and all that. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you that Zach was very, very cool, and he treated my son, who does have a bit of a disability, like a rock star. And
awesome.
He, as well as the rest of the guys, between Aaron and Jay and
Aaron is funnier than shit. Aaron makes me laugh so hard. Is he like that in person though?
What's that?
Is he like that in person? Because he makes me laugh.
Totally. Yeah,
he's the one that will make you laugh throughout the whole entire time. Yeah, it's always but I will honestly tell you, a lot of people give Zach a hard time, like, oh, he just seems arrogant and everything. He's very business. He's very professional. He's actually busted his ass to get where he's at. And a lot of people could be jealous over him. And a lot of the people that hate him are the ones that are in the paranormal field themselves and other things like that. So a lot of them do. But I mean, and I'm not saying that all the people don't like him just because of jealousy. It's just, I think he just has that different method of, everybody likes ghost hunters for their way that they investigate. Some people like ghost hunters for the way
usually
Ghost
either
Adventures.
Team Ghost Adventures or team Ghost Hunters, right?
Yeah.
So,
right.
And but Zach, honestly, he's had a lot of experiences. If people really read into the story, it's amazing. It's actually, I'm so surprised what he has gone through, and he even stands and actually does what he does to this day. And he really truly does help people out. So I'm totally team Zach all the way. I would totally say anything. I love Ghost Hunters though too. I have tons of my friends on it. I'm so happy that Sherry and all them are getting back on there.
Huge congratulations.
Yes,
Sherry.
I mean, and and all of them, but
well, Sherry Benedetti, she's amazing. She is just an amazing individual. We've had
her in 2019 at the Paracon. I was super impressed
Yeah.
with how she handled herself, and
she's
really she knows her stuff. So
yeah.
But yeah, I think it is that with anybody though. I mean, people look at Marie and I I think we counted the other day. We sat down and I think we've had almost 30 TV appearances over the past 10 years.
Wow.
And, and when people see those, I think immediately when they meet us, they think, oh, these people are going to be a certain kind of way,
right?
Based on just preconceived, notions. I mean, we're just people, we're,
right.
We're investigators. We tell our stories on a different platform,
right?
And other people maybe do. So
see, I myself is I sorry to interrupt, but my input on Zach is different. I mean, I don't hate the guy. I just don't like certain things that's portrayed through the show, I guess, right. The way it is. And I think for me, that's kind of hurting or hindering what some of us are trying to do. But it's not a personal thing. It's the way I'm looking at the paranormal. You know what I mean? And, there's
fans of the paranormal, and then there's paranormal investigators. And true paranormal investigators are going to look at anything on TV, and they're going to kind of be like, I don't like this, But the fans outweigh the paranormal investigators. That's why these shows keep coming and keep going, because there's so many fans of the field.
And got to know something with us doing it. Network has the top of the thing. So even if Zach or any of them, even though who Zach is, Network gets to tell him, like, it's going to be this way.
That's like with any show.
It's like any show. Right. It's like, well, nope, this is going to give us ratings, so you better do it. So it's But I mean, I'm actually Zach done his haunted museum. He's doing a movie thing. I mean, he's doing a lot of stuff, and it just brings out the whole, what everybody's gone through, and it really helps people, I think. So.
Yeah, I think though sometimes some of the bad rap he's getting is because of what the network says, and stuff. It's like, because I like I said, I have nothing personally against him whatsoever because I don't know him, but when you turn on his show and all you see is demon, that or I'm possessed, that is an issue, because most people in the paranormal community that's been doing it for a long time understands that it's a very small percentage of that. And how does he get every case? You know what I mean? So, I have nothing against the guy.
I just the one that's following him.
Yeah, probably. But I have always said he's doing something right. And yes, he's probably busted his ass for it, but he's doing something that nobody else is doing. And he's managed to keep the longest running paranormal show.
Adventures won't even take a location unless it is something that is dark.
Yeah.
So they won't even respond to a location. So, like, let's just say they've investigated 8 or 6, 7, 8, I don't know how many cases of ours, but I've given them, dozens more, but they're only wanting, dark stuff. They're only wanting that genre. So, and I think that should probably be told a little bit more, but it's just one of those things. But he's not wanting the Casper, the Friendly, the Ghost. He's wanting these darker situations, and of course the demonic hauntings sell, and they have huge ratings. So I mean, any show that I've ever been a part of in my entire life, practically, the first question they ask is, have you ever encountered anything demonic? Have you ever encountered anything that's really malicious or anything that's malignant? And well, yes, but that's a really small portion. But they'll grab those stories long before they'll grab a story.
Every time we've done almost all of our shows, I constantly am getting, was it demonic? And I will honestly say, I don't know how many, over thousands of places we've investigated. And I will honestly say, 2, maybe 3, I will call it demonic. It's a very short thing. A lot of times what we talk about is a lot of people like, why does everything happen? Well, to be honest with you, this man right here has a demonic thing attached to him for his life. So that's, and I think Zach does the same thing. And I wish he would talk about it a little bit more myself, because it's a very interesting story. To be honest with you, if people read and listen to his story.
Right. Well, maybe I think that's I don't know. Maybe if something like they did the life story of Zach Bagans will eventually come out, maybe that'll help.
That would be cool.
You know what I mean?
Would be cool. I honestly wish they would do that because it would be an interesting thing that more people would actually know about Zach. So
right.
I mean, like, yeah. So
he is a true paranormal investigator.
Yes.
He does have a true passion. I can tell you, he validated like an amazing amount of evidence and stuff that we've had happen to us at Vulture City over like the past 3 or 4 years. And he was able to validate it. Of course, they're using like cutting edge equipment. They got their own equipment guy that's
right.
using like, cutting edge stuff. They're bringing them all the newest, all the best, all the greatest. So it's a little bit easier.
Jeff Conkle, I mean, he does amazing. Jeff Conkle does amazing.
Well, what I think what helps, like, because he's built such an empire and that stuff, he has that money and the right people in his corner to bring all this stuff up into to make this work. And, no matter how much anybody hates the guy, I still look at him and I say, he's done something that I haven't done. He's got a TV show, longest running TV show right now in the paranormal, and he's got money. He's able to do things that nobody else is able to do in the paranormal field.
Oh, yeah.
So
he's definitely taking it to whole other levels that,
Right.
I always try to say this, and it's totally two opposite people, but a lot of people hate the Kardashians. I mean, and people hate and Zach. But I'm like, to be honest with you, the Kardashians have done something big and made themselves famous and everything out of nothing. So I mean, for me, beautiful, I guess.
Didn't they just have big butts or something? That was the only reason they were famous. I can't remember.
I don't know.
The Kardashian father was a lawyer who the Kardashian's father was one of them that was a lawyer for O.J. Simpson. So yes, he is a very famous and rich lawyer.
Oh, okay.
They were already famous long before the Kardashian show.
Okay, now we know because I didn't know.
Well, I always compare it to people like, how did these women make it famous? And look at this, and I'm like, I think
it's Robert Kardashian was their father.
They did it on their own, so whatever.
Wow.
Well, they didn't do it on their own, really. They had their father and their father's mother, money, and Chris, and then Bruce Jenner, who became, oh gosh, what's her name?
Christian.
Oh no, she's running for governor, ain't she? Of California.
Yeah.
Wow.
I forget her name.
But they had Bruce Jenner as their stepfather, so they had money.
Yeah.
and privilege and everything else.
I just think like a lot of people compare them and say something. So
hi, Caitlin.
I just
Caitlin,
thank you guys down for them hard work and everything. So
yeah, I mean it's just you know how social media is, how people are. I mean, human beings, shit. We talk about everything, whether we know it or not. No matter how much information we have, it's just a human thing, and it'll always happen no matter what.
Thank you.
And Caitlyn Jenner. That's what Robin Kale says. Yeah.
Yeah, she's running for governor of California.
Wow.
Wow.
Facebook user, is that little bit? Because
that was little bit because she always calls me Gorgeous Cindy. So that's
okay.
I believe that one is
because it just says Facebook user, and it also says now, believe it or not, Teddy's getting a spanking. Okay, Teddy's getting a spanking. I don't know how, but I'm getting one. All right.
Bend over, baby.
No. Good night, Mr. Eric. Oh, Mr. Jason Marble from Buffalo. Hello, Mr. Jason Marble. Thank you for joining us. It's funny. Way back up here in the beginning, though, we did have a question.
I'm going to ask you guys, how old is your son?
Our youngest is 20.
Yeah, our youngest is 20.
Who is the one that who wanted to go with you to? I can't believe you guys have a 20-year-old son.
Yeah, our 20-year-old is the one that wanted to meet Zach Bagans. Our 26-year-old has already met Zach because he filmed for Ghost Adventures Aftershocks.
He's the one with our 26-year-old son is the one with autism, and he did Aftershocks with Zach, so we already met him and stuff. But then I have an older son. Yeah, he's 27. So yeah, I have a 27.
Wow.
25 and a 20-year-old.
Wow.
Awful.
Yeah,
you guys look so young.
I appreciate that.
So you guys said you guys did something on April 4th. I'm like, yep, that's my 50th birthday right there.
Hello, Mr. David Seiler.
Celebrating me without even knowing.
So, a Facebook user asked the questions, what do you think of kindred spirits?
I think that one is Chanel.
Okay.
What do we think of kindred spirits?
Yes.
Honestly, I haven't watched. I don't watch many paranormal TV shows. I really don't. I think when we started doing them, it just was something I just stopped. I don't even watch ourselves. I don't.
Oh,
I hate it. It bothers me. And on there, I watched our son because he acted in the Ghost Brothers Lights Out one. I did watch that just so because it was his first time going and doing acting. So I was like, okay, so I watched that, but I haven't seen Kindred Spirits, I think, in
honestly, I've never even seen an episode of Kindred Spirits.
Oh, really?
Not because I don't like anybody that's on there. I just don't really watch it. I think only I've religiously watched since the beginning is Ghost Hunters back in the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
I used to watch Paranormal State back in the day, and and Ghost Adventures are like the only ones that I really kind of, and even it's hard to keep up even with those.
Right.
The Ghost Adventures like a 25 seasons.
You watch Portals to Hell.
Oh, I just started watching here recently Portals to
Yeah.
Hell. I'm a huge fan of Ozzy Osbourne, so with it being his son.
I mean, I think I watched a couple episodes the first or second season. But Amy and them are amazing. I mean,
Yeah, Amy and Adam. Yeah.
That's Kindred Spirit.
But I've never met them in person, to be honest with you, myself. We met like a whole bunch of other ones, but haven't met them.
Yeah, I've watched a couple seasons of it, and I really enjoy what they do. I think pretty much. I mean, it's maybe just my opinion, but once you start watching these shows, they all pretty much are about the same. It's just different characters. You know what I mean? So you get to the point where it's like, okay, well, I don't know. I watch stuff because of monsters. I like watching other stuff, So unless there's nothing else to watch.
So Robert doesn't like what I watch. I watch Lifetime, so.
Yeah. Well, Hallmark was mine.
Hallmark or Lifetime? Yeah, he hates it.
Yeah.
So see this comment right here? It says, yes, indeed. I would not have thought they were that age to have a 27-year-old kid. So the funny part is because the last time we interviewed you guys, it was straight, just radio. It was calling through Skype. We didn't have video then. And it was before we had moved our studio upstairs. And the funny part is you guys had told us your ages or approximately because you had told us. I'm like, man, I thought they were older because I'm looking at you guys and going, I thought they were older than they are because they look like they're 30-year-olds right now.
That's awesome.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, I really do. But yeah, I mean, I will honestly say I have wonderful genes from my dad. I take after my dad. But yeah, that's the only thing.
We have a good filter of light back here as well.
Yeah.
A filter. You guys are so funny. So we all are in the same belief that you are younger.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Miss Christy London from Where's My Sage is up here saying hello, peeps. Hello, Jay and Marie.
Hi. How you doing?
Barry Marsh says, I met Amy Bruni and at the New Jersey Pair Unity a couple years ago. She is a very nice person, and she is really tall. She is tall.
Is she? You would think she was short, to be honest with you, because of TV.
I would not have thought that. I have a great Amy Bruni story, and I have to thank her for letting me have her block of time because her plane was delayed. So she actually had to have my block of time, and nobody knew me, but it was my first event ever. So I had a stacked place. Like, it was amazing. I had so many people there. They're like, are you ready to go on now? And I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, Amy Bruni's plane is delayed. I'm like, hey. There was a lot of people there. And and to this day, I still have people come up going, hey, I know you. And I'm like, you do? And they're like, yes, you were you did a thing at the Armory. And I'm like, yes, I did.
James Shruel, Telephone to the Dead is great. Never
I never
heard of it.
heard of that.
I haven't heard of that.
I have to look it up. Oh, Jason and Jason Marble is correcting me. He says Pembroke, not Buffalo. LOL.
Yes, right.
All right. Sorry. I just knew it was over that
Chris
way.
Moon. Oh, Chris Moon. Okay. Chris Moon has a new show that's Telephone to the Dead then? What station is that on? Like, what channel? Do you know, James?
Yeah, that's cool. So,
I'm so uncomfortable.
but like I said, there's so many new shows and stuff going on. But with all the shows and all the experimentations and all the investigations that are going on, you would think we'd get more answers than where we are, but we're still, and I'll remember this to the day I die. Grant Wilson said to us, actually said to me, and I can't remember where it was. Maybe it was when we interviewed him. He said, we are so chasing our tails round and round in circles in the paranormal because we haven't gained an inch. We don't, we haven't gotten off of EMF. We haven't done this. We haven't done that. And
it's when he was starting to talk about he has other ideas and trying to go different ways. And
I will say with us being able to be a vulture for over a year because of COVID, and we've had this whole abandoned ghost town to ourselves, we've actually completely changed our look at a lot of stuff. We already were anyways, but we do so much more different stuff now. Really in depth of like what the land was. Yeah, we live in an abandoned ghost town. That was where we're doing the investigation. And we're always talking about the gold mining and the miners and all that, but we always forget about the land. There was nothing there before and who lived there before. So we're really like reaching
definitely
into that.
Ramped up our research and our data collection. And I think that I think every investigator at some point in time, you get rushed and you start, you're taking this case, that case, this case. And the COVID crisis really helped us to kind of slow down and really actually start taking some real notes, collecting some real data, and really looking at that over a course of an entire year. And as we were doing that, it just caused our research to go this direction, that direction, as far as looking into history and just
and how it's all circle. I mean, we didn't really do the whole UFO or Bigfoot or cryptid or anything like that, but we're realizing it's all in one little thing that it's all connected and it's all there in Vulture, and we're like, oh, wait a second.
Where are you guys in Arizona?
Yeah. What was that?
Where in Arizona are you guys?
We live in west side of Phoenix, but Vulture City is like 20 minutes south of Wickenburg, Arizona.
What is that place? I'm sorry that you're saying?
Vulture City Ghost Town.
Oh, okay. That's one place that I'd like to go see. But have you guys ever been to the to this Superstitions?
Yes.
Oh, we did. We did like a lot of work out there.
Yeah, we used to do a lot of work
there's
out there.
a lot of alien activity out there, and you guys, if your guys are getting it, it's huge. I'd be careful, seriously careful, because there are certain parts where people have disappeared and have never been seen again. And my best friend lives in Chandler, and she goes out to Superstitions all the time, and she's well versed. And there have been a couple times she's gone, and she's like, Cindy, I understand how people become missing. It's weird because there's a certain point, and all of a sudden you have no idea where you are. And it's just like, it's not like there was anything wrong beforehand. It's just like you've stepped into a portal and now you have no idea what's going on.
It does. It gives that
her spirit guides literally were taking her back out. Thank God she listened.
Yeah, we have people that go missing out there all the time. We actually did years and years ago. We did a fully funded expedition into the Superstition Mountains, and it was by mountain men, and we had mules carrying all of our investigative equipment and everything. And we went to a specific location, and it had a lot to do with the missing persons and a gentleman that was doing a lot of research up there. But yeah, that place scares the hell out of me.
Who is that? Was that Chanel?
No, I don't know who that is.
Salamanca? Because Chanel wouldn't know about Salamanca.
I have no idea, but it did say, you know me, Ted. We have investigated many times together, so.
Okay, so who is it? Tell us, because
I have no idea. Oh, but I've been to a few locations here in New York where it kind of reminds me of, and maybe you guys can expand on this, J.M. Marie. Like maybe you've done this as well. When you get to a location, and it's not even like the dwelling, it's not the house or the building, it's the property, right. And you get there and you feel like you're zapped into a different time zone. It's like, wait a minute, this is like really strange. This is not what you would figure. And the only way you really get that is by not, assuming that you're going into a haunted location. Is being skeptical when you go in there. And I've done quite a few places where I've driven up to the place and I'm just like, okay, my feet are tingling, my hair is standing up on my arms.
Right.
Something doesn't feel exactly right. I get out and I kind of just start breathing and I take in the land. I just kind of ground myself a little bit to see and feel what's going on. And you just kind of like, man, I'll be honest with you. There was a few times where I just said, I don't know if I want to do this, because the feeling is really that intense to where it's like something's pushing you back saying, you don't want to come in here. You don't want to do that.
Sometimes you need to listen to that because, whether it's your spirit guides or somebody there, sometimes you need to listen.
Oh my God, I know who it is now.
Your favorite investigator, Bonnie.
Bonnie. Yes, I love Bonnie. She is the oldest. I shouldn't have said that, but she is. She's the oldest member that we have for Genesee Valley Paranormal Investigator. Yay. Bonnie. She is an amazing individual, and I really want to tell her story now, but maybe I'll do it towards the end. But she's
bring Bonnie on and do it.
Bonnie should come on sometime, honestly, because she has some amazing. She's just an amazing person. She's just amazing. I love her to death. So, but maybe we'll tell some stories later on. Barry Marsh says Wildwood Sanitarium is in Salamanca, New York, and is an interesting place to visit. I've never been there. I've heard of it.
Yeah, so I've been to Salamanca for some of the Native American.
Oh yeah, I've been there for that. But I mean,
festivals and stuff for the what do they call it? Five Nations. Five Nations. Like the drumming, dancing, and festivals.
Well, Canandaigua has a remembrance too of something like that around August or September. So, how far east have you guys come to investigate?
Well, we just left Tennessee last week.
Yeah. Oh wow!
So we were investigating some a battlefield out there.
Awesome.
Kind of doing some digging around and looking at some places, and had kind of a little bit of a haunted road trip. But
cool.
Been out to Salem a couple years ago.
Yeah, we've been to Memphis before. Done Memphis before.
Up in the Canada, Toronto area.
In Salem? You did an investigation in Salem, then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We did.
Oh wow!
We did a couple, and we did it with the event. They had the Salem Con. We were at the Salem Cons. We did several things there with them.
What was that one place? The site where the witches were the ones that were accused of being witches.
The right spot where they actually were hung.
The Putnam, the Putnam thing,
like behind a Walgreens or something.
Yeah.
So that spot, we actually went and did that.
We were there with one of our crew members, Scott, and we captured like one of the most amazing audio recordings. It was really interesting. It was ironic. We were there in that spot, and one of the relatives of one of the ladies that were hung to their deaths, right, from in that area, is that what it was there. It happened to be there while we were there and started talking with us, realized that we were paranormal investigators. And then he asked to do an audio recording session, an AVP session with us. And we're like, okay, like, yeah, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. And we actually caught like this unbelievable, like this screaming, wrenching. I mean, I don't know how,
when you hear it, you just scrunch like you need to help the person.
It's like, how did we not hear that with our own ears? Like it was so loud, there was just so much pain in the scream. It was just, it was pretty shocking.
Like they were being burned at the stake, probably. Probably like they were being burned at the stake, basically. That kind of scream, like
It was a miserable thing. I remember I just started tearing up when I heard it because I mean, they didn't just get hung; they burnt them and everything. So
They burnt them, they drowned them. There was so many different things that they did there. They stoned them, basically, which was crushing them with huge stones.
Reading about that and something you see.
Yeah, yeah. I did a whole history thing on the witch trials in Salem. I did this whole thing. It's all up in here. I got a ton of information about that myself.
Very fascinating.
Yes.
The town is really amazing. I mean,
that cemetery there in the middle of Salem, that is the scariest damn cemetery I've. And I'm not really like I always say cemeteries are kind of dead. No pun,
No pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended. But I mean, walking next to that in the middle of the night because we got there late and we were just kind of walking around. I think we were looking for a place to eat, and we happened to walk by the cemetery, and that is the creepiest damn cemetery I've ever been around in my life. Hearing the noise, it sounded like wagons down the road, and seeing shadows darting throughout the cemetery.
Wow!
And there was it was amazing, dude. I'd love to go back actually.
Well, if you guys ever come to New York, I've got several places for you.
Okay.
If you ever come up here, because we've
up
to New York. Well, we have our own battlefields from a Revolutionary War. And other locations connected to that. We have hanging trees. We have torture trees. There's just so much stuff up here. The haunted Hinsdale house. There's so many things.
To actually go. We've been talking about that. I mean, how exciting it is for Daniel and the Hinsdale house. I mean, we are so excited how well it's going. We've seen the new sign they put out. We can't wait till we actually be able to go to visit that. So
that's a pretty cool story.
that is
one.
I'm very excited for Daniel and everybody in the Paranormal Phil. How he lets everybody come in there, do their own thing. He does an amazing job keeping that up. So
I agree.
I love class.
Yeah, and now with the sign and stuff, actually getting it marketed as a research center as well. I mean, there's so many things that he has done, and it's just amazing. That guy has got such a passion and a drive. It's amazing.
Barry talks about that right here and says Daniel Class is associated with Wildwood Sanitarium, and he had a huge impact on getting the roof replaced there. Yeah, I mean. It's pretty amazing because he worked with Wildwood before he got his haunted Hinsdale house.
Now, I've heard of this place as well, the Iron Island Museum in Buffalo. I've heard of this as well, Barry. I've never been there. It's one I've always wanted to go to. In fact, I know a team that has I guess I want to say an inn, I guess is the best way to say it. They have an inn into that place where they've always said, hey, if you want to go, let me know. Let's see here. Bob Brunel says, do you think, Ted, the lake effect also affects the paranormal as well as the weather? Well, I'm going to tell you that as paranormal investigation goes, barometric, there are things within the weather does play a factor. How much of a factor?
We don't know.
We don't know, but I can tell you that when major thunderstorms and rainstorms come through New York, paranormal activity ramps up. I mean, it's just one of those things, and I'm sure it's the same way everywhere.
Oh yeah, we don't get much rain, to be honest with you. But
right.
When we do, it does. I mean, it does amp up quite a bit. That's one reason why we sort of been really focusing on Vulture City. Sort of what Daniel's doing is the history of it. We're so amazed by the owners of Vulture City that they actually started restoring all these buildings that were demolished, and they brought in people to actually restore these the correct way that they did back then. And Jay and I have been very blessed to be able to come in there, bring more attention to the place, do events, money go right into the location and everything. We're actually now bringing down 2 more buildings and they're restoring them again. So they're now doing the generator generator building and the ball mill. So I love seeing it when history is actually being restored instead of tore down.
I agree.
Yes, that's exactly it.
So.
Yeah, I agree. We have a place here about 30 minutes from us that it's actually called the Go Art Building right now, and it used to be a gentleman's club, and they restored it. and Cindy thinks it's an interesting location.
I love that.
I do too. It's a beautiful place. I can tell you, we did an investigation there, and as we were packing up to leave,
and we did our show there too.
Right, we did our show there. But as the investigation goes and we were packing up, it's so weird what happens sometimes when you're investigating, and then there's nothing the whole time you investigate, but we were packing up and getting ready to leave, and as that was happening, you heard this running down this hallway right in front of us, and a door open and slam shut. And it's like, I'm peeking around things. Look, it's like, what? What?
Oh God.
So it was interesting. It was a great place to investigate. So we really hope that more people will get out there. So what's on, Cindy?
It's nice to hear about those places where people are restoring and bringing the history back, because I love that's one reason why when I first met Jay, he told me all of his history, what he went through, all that, but I agreed to start doing investigations because I love history. So it's that, and I love traveling, history, all that kind of stuff. So that was my biggest thing. And when we started doing this, there was so many buildings and so many locations that were just almost destroyed and forgotten. And now with the paranormal field, it's a blessing that so many are starting to be restored and brought back. So, it's a big thing. And I honestly, I give credit to a lot of the paranormal people out there doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Maria Geister, who is the one for the world's largest ghost hunt, she actually, when she does that, she kind of puts into places like, hey, we need to restore these buildings. We need to keep them. Let's, look at this. Hello, Mom and Dad from Brandon.
Hi, Brandon.
Aw, cute.
But it's nice that there are paranormal teams out there and organizations that do the fundraisers to help. One of the best things about being a paranormal paranormal investigation. Wow. Is one, just like you, Marie, one of the first things that I did that I really loved about this was the history. I got into the history of the locations first. And actually, Cindy and I have talked about this on a lot of occasions where if we had the money, we'd be in London right now. We'd be over there because, it's just, there's so much over there. Ireland, Scotland, the amount of places that they have that are haunted, and then just to
700 years old. Come on.
Yeah, just to place your hand on the building to say this wall is weathered 700 years. Can you imagine what has happened, in this location?
Well, people forget about a lot of it because, like, people will say, "I just got a brand new house," especially here in Arizona. Oh,
I don't want a brand new house.
Haunted. Well, think about your land you're living on.
Exactly.
And we've had to explain it. We just
God.
to see. And I will honestly say the battlefield, the homes, and they put a mental institution hospital on the battlefield. I'm like, really?
People think that they're seeing something. They probably really are.
People that are in this hospital, probably are getting pills more, and they're really seeing things. So it's sad that all this, and I'm like, yeah, you guys wonder why your locations. You guys got to remember the land, the history before anything was built. And that's, I think I love seeing people start bringing that out, bringing the history back.
Yeah.
I know Jay and I are working now with an amazing native group here in Arizona that's helping them actually bring back stuff to their tribe up there. So we're very proud to actually be part of that.
John Kirby says, hey.
Hi, John.
What gets me is people, especially building new houses and like up here, they're doing a lot of that as well. Cause New York is just, there's a lot of people that move into New York. I don't know why. Some of us want to get the hell out, but, there is land that has never had buildings on. It's always been farmland, or it was, right down the road from me, there was an Indian reservation there long before, anything else was there. And people don't realize this. They don't know the history. And it's like, so they build houses on this stuff, and they're thinking, okay, why is my house haunted all of a sudden?
Yep.
All
You
of a
know,
sudden.
It's like you guys are on locations that have like, and I'm gonna move right off of that again with something else which just popped in my head is that back in the 80s when the show like what was it
Are you guys going to be at the bash? Are you guys going to be at the Gettysburg Bash?
Not this year, but next year we will be.
Oh, good.
Yes,
That'll
I've
be
already
bash.
talked to her. Yeah, we love that play. That's an amazing event. That
It really is.
everybody, if they can donate, even time, money, anything, it's an amazing event to actually donate to.
Right.
It is.
But next year we will for sure be there, but not this year. No.
well, as what I was saying was, I can't remember the name of the movies, but there was like 3 of them. But
Close Encounters.
no, it was a ghost show, paranormal show. But anyways, it actually happened where people, this land came up for sale because of the state or whatever, and there was a cemetery. They built a house on the cemetery. They never moved the graves.
Poltergeist.
And poltergeist, yes, thank
Yes.
you. And so stuff like that truly does happen.
Oh yeah.
And it's scary. I mean, we just found about a location here. I can't say too much about it. That actually has dead people buried in the basement of a business.
Oh my gosh.
And there is stuff happening there.
Yep.
And
Talked about this, right?
yeah. Let's see here. Let's go back here to Brian Mars says quite a bit of farmland in Skinny Atlas, New York area in all houses and condos now. Okay. Poltergeist. Thank you, Robert.
I didn't even see that Robert had said it.
It's Bonnie, and I live in a house over 100 years old, and I have a shadow person who hangs out in my cellar, and I hear voices and footsteps all the time. You know me. It doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
That's my girl. Robert White says, well, I would hope they're dead. Would be a bit annoying for them if buried alive. Do you remember that they used to bury people with outside the gravestone there was a little bell attached with a string that went into the casket?
Yeah. Because if they buried them alive, they wanted to know. So they
so they would ring the bell. I mean, I think that's ingenious, but for the time.
But think about it this way. I mean, now Farging would have put formaldehyde in their fucking bodies, and they can't ring no bells.
That's true. That's
and
true.
one thing we have problem here in Arizona is the desert. Well, the desert's being rebuilt on everywhere. It's turning into California all over here in this area. So
well, I was just talking to one of my friends about that.
Yeah.
How it's 10 miles, Walmart. 10 miles, Walmart. 10 miles, Walmart.
Yeah, well, it used to be all desert. Well, back in the day, people would murder people and just bury their bodies. Our Walmart here in where we live, and we live in Buckeye, Arizona. I should have said that, but whatever. I think people know that. But the Walmart here, when they went to go build it, they found a woman and 2 children. And barrels and concrete. So,
oh my God.
Story. So a lot of people never. It was like, oh, the Walmart here's haunted. I'm like, well,
I wonder why.
Yeah.
We always find toys in the toy aisle on the floor.
Thank you, Bill. That's exactly where we get Dead Ringer from. That's
exactly where Dead Ringer came from.
Dead Ringer.
Yep. This was one of my friends that I was talking about. One of my friends that has a new show that he's working on and stuff. Hopefully, as Brandon Elvis has some stuff that he's working on as well with a couple other people. And I'm so excited for him. I probably shouldn't have said anything, though. But Barry March says, welcome to Wally World. Exactly.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. But
I haven't heard anybody call it that in a while, actually.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just amazing. Like, we have become so overpopulated that we don't even think. I mean, people just build their houses anywhere now. They don't even think about the history. They don't think about what came first.
Right.
And before the chicken or the egg. No, I'm just joking. But it's just one of those things, and it's like, we have a lot of property here, and the house that we live in is haunted, and it's two military homes put together. But the property we have, in fact, Bonnie can verify this. We actually used to do training here, paranormal investigation training on the property. And we would send them off with their digital recorders and stuff like that, and send them out to do their EVPs and stuff like that. Yeah, and
who's on first? What's on second? I don't know.
Robert. There you go, Robert. But it's amazing the things that they have captured here, because this actually a part of the Genesee Valley, to where the water runs from Canisius Lake and it comes right down through, so it's big enough where indigenous people used to fish and used to do all this, you know what I mean? So collecting stuff down here isn't, it happens, I mean, and that's one thing that I've always tried to keep in mind is like, hey, and I try to train people that way. It's like, when you're going to a location, do as much research on that land prior to going, because you want to know just in case,
Patricia, I hope
something
better.
Oh, I'm sorry you're sick.
Patricia's one of those people that has been vaccinated, huh, Patricia?
Yeah, hers was from.
It wasn't COVID, but it is definitely COVID symptoms.
But from what I hear, it was from food, though. From what her son said to me today.
Was it the food from yesterday?
Yeah, it was the food.
Well,
yeah.
Patricia was sick last week.
So, we hope she gets better. We hope she gets better soon.
Yeah, and I hope they're all feeling better. Yeah. All of them and their friends and stuff over there. Down there.
So Jay, this one goes to you. It's like, so how have things been with your life of being haunted? How are things? I mean, are you still good to go? I mean, well, I don't know how to put it other than the fact is that we know he was haunted.
Are you okay?
Yeah, are you okay? I mean.
No, I mean, it continues. I mean, it's just something that. And,
so you're going to have to explain, because there are a lot of people that don't know, or they haven't heard your backstory.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I should have said that first. My apologies. My apologies.
So if you can give them a little bit of a backstory to catch them up, and then let them know how you're doing now.
Right. Okay. So for myself, I've been haunted since birth, is how only I could really describe it. Going back as far as I can remember, I would see spirit. So for me, what that looked like would be, I would see children the way they appeared at the moments of death. So that could be car accident, drowning, fire, shooting, whatever. They would appear to me as the way they looked upon the moments of death. So as a very young child, obviously that was quite terrifying. We didn't have all these amazing paranormal television shows to really turn on to, okay, I'm not going crazy, or to kind of understand some of it. What I saw, they were very nonverbal. So I would say it was very visual, obviously very terrifying. I spent a lot of my life just in fear of being alone, because that's when these things would happen. I was psychologically evaluated from the ages of 5 all the way up to the ages of 14 years old. And then again, after I started with the sheriff's office in 2005. The psychiatrist as a child, what they would tell me would be that, tell my parents, would be that he's either really seeing these things, or he believes he's seeing these things. So something seems to be happening to him that we can't explain. So with that being said, I had a pretty good supportive mother and grandmother that kind of didn't dismiss it for me, but they also couldn't provide me a lot of answers. I really looked up to, at a very young age, people like Ed and Lorraine Warren. They would have those Dateline 2020 type shows on the news, and I'd record them on VHS, and I would rewatch them over and over and over again until the tapes would break. I'd clip out little articles that they would talk about hauntings and ghosts, because it made me feel normal.
Right.
So as I got older, on August 13th of 1999, I had a near-death experience. I saw what I believe the other side, and was a spirit for a moment, or a ghost rather. I managed to come back. And with that, I got into ministry earlier on. I got kicked out of the church because of my beliefs in both angels, demons, spirits. Even though that sounds kind of ridiculous, I did. I was kind of lost, didn't know where to go with all this. Started investigating the supernatural probably about in the late 1990s. I wasn't using good practices and how I would get into locations back then. But obviously that's changed. I met Marie in the early 2000s and pretty much screwed up her entire life after that and introduced her to the hauntings. So I've definitely experienced paranormal phenomenon my entire life. I continue to experience it today. You get used to a lot of it, right? And you've learned to kind of deal and control some of it. Some of the darker stuff, the more malignant, the more demonic side of things is something that is always going to be there with me. It's something that I've just come to accept. And instead of running from them, like I said, I just started chasing them as an investigator and hunter, right? So I say most of my passion these days is helping families, mentoring new investigators coming into this field. Yeah, I'm still experiencing hauntings today within my own life, in my own personal life. It is at times terrifying. Marie, she knows full well.
I've been woken up several times at night.
Seeing things, experiencing things. It's interesting. It kind of goes like in waves, So right now things are kind of okay, right? That could change tomorrow, where things could turn very, very dark. But I suffer from night terrors. I suffer from anxiety from a lot of the stuff that I've seen, and I continue to see even today. But I've kind of learned, with the help of my faith and my wife here, that balancing act between both the living and the dead, and how to kind of understand what kind of triggers things. And for one thing that we've learned over the years is that fear responses to a lot of this stuff is just like we're gas stations to these guys, right? And one thing I try to avoid is the forever menacing Mr. Potato Head ghost, right? To where you start imagining it being the worst thing, and then finally it is, right? Like a poltergeist.
Right.
So I've learned how to control it a bit with my own emotions and whatnot, feeding it. But I would be a liar if I didn't say that, I don't still from time to time have situations that completely terrify me to death. But I just have to rebound, and that's what I have my beautiful wife here for.
Well, my question to you is, did you think that maybe at some point you ended up with some type of PTSD from this?
My wife would probably say yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, probably that, and then with law enforcement,
and working law enforcement and all
that.
So I might officially be crazy now.
When we go to a restaurant, I know where he has to sit. He cannot sit.
That's the law enforcement.
That has to be in a spot where no one else can walk behind him.
And then working law enforcement.
That's actually, I have a lot of friends that have been that have done military tours and duties in combat areas. They will say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
They cannot, they have to sit with their back up against the wall, usually preferably a corner where they can see everything and nobody can take them by surprise. And they will watch every single thing, every single person. You could probably, if I would give a good guesstimate, could probably surmise the whole crowd and be able to tell things. Okay, they're doing this, they're doing that.
Yeah,
I would pretty much understand.
Yeah,
my father's like that. 22 years in the military, and when we used to go out to eat, he always had his his back to a wall because he didn't want anybody behind him. So there's stuff like that. That's but it's we understand. It's one of those things. It's just with you going through all that, Jay, from being a youngster. I would have to think there's some things that just don't settle with you.
I can't imagine being a psychic medium. I can't imagine seeing dead people the way you see dead people or have seen dead people. That would be terrifying. That's Sixth Sense kind of stuff, right? You know that, right?
Yeah, it's definitely lately. I see stuff pretty clearly for the most part. Sometimes, of course, I see the shadows, or I'll see silhouettes, or I'll see patterns, which tell me a story. I don't claim to be like a psychic or a medium or any of this shit. I mean, like, it is what it is, man. There's too much like liability and too much expectation if I started saying that.
That dog is loving it right now. Maria's giving that dog the attention.
It's so funny because I feel like, especially since he's been talking about his experiences, she had to be there.
Very smart.
Well, she's sort of like his
service dog
and everything. It's those two are never that far away from each other.
Yeah, she's definitely.
Look at her; she's loving it. She's loving
it.
That's for sure. She's a big baby.
She wants mommy when she's sick.
Yeah, isn't that how things go?
Well, you've been kind of put in that place anyway, Marie, where you take care of everybody because you're taking care of Jay. You're taking care of, you know what I mean? You came into a marriage and a relationship of supernatural stuff. I mean, to be honest with you, and not having the love of that, you know, not being interested in it and stuff like that. I would think that somebody would look at Jay and go, he's crazy, and he wouldn't even, you know, they wouldn't be there for him. You know, they would have walked away.
I don't know why I haven't ran yet, but no, I mean, to be honest with you, I remember the first time he sat me down and told me all these stories that he's gone through. And anybody else would probably stare at him and like, you're such a liar. Because some of the stories that he said, I'm like, oh my God. But to be honest with you, when you actually meet him in person, I always tell people, Jay, when you talk to him, you can see the honesty in his eyes. Like, this man doesn't have any bone to lie. I mean, he's a very honest. That's the one thing about our relationship. Yeah, we both. I mean, I can say this about our marriage is it's sometimes the downfall, but it's a good thing most of the time is we don't lie to each other about nothing. So if I look fat in an outfit, he'll tell me I look fat in an outfit. I mean, I actually.
You're welcome, Marie.
But that's how we are, and it's just like I knew he was telling the truth. And then after being with him, everything started happening. And I'm like, oh my God.
In fact, when we first got together, what kind of like helped us to kind of her to understand me better is her autistic son from a previous marriage was, you know, very gifted. I mean, or cursed, whatever you want to say at the time. Built more curse for him at the time. But he saw and heard spirit. He was talking about things that he was seeing, and I was actually seeing them myself. And that was a very difficult situation earlier on in our relationship to say, hey, I know your son has autism, but he's actually telling the truth. And that there is actually a boy spirit in this home, and there is a man, you know, his name is this, and he's calling this thing Nicholas, that is his name. Long story short with that, when we left that apartment and we moved into our first house together, the leasing agent or like the apartment manager actually told her and I, why is it that I couldn't believe you guys stayed in there as long as you did, specifically with her because she started there living there with just her and the kids. And like, well, why is that? Because of what happened there, and validated the entire story about this man named Snake and this kid named Nicholas, and there was it was a murder-suicide that took place.
Wow.
But I mean, like, our son had validated it already. I had already seen it. So that's an interesting story that's on a show that we did called Scariest Night of Our Lives. It's called Steven's Imaginary Friend. So if anyone are interested in looking at that, it talks a lot about mental illness and autism and translating with spirit and how our kind of story together got started. I really like the way they did it.
I will say we've been able, with us being on TV and stuff, I've had so many people with children with mental illness or autism reach out to me and say, hey, I need your help. And it's been a blessing. That's one thing I will say. I love helping people, especially children and the moms and the fathers out there. But I will say when it first started happening, I always tell them, because they always say, I feel like the worst mom in the world that I don't believe them. And I'm like, I didn't believe my son either. I thought it was his mental illness. I thought it was his autism. I didn't believe. And then when Jay came in, it took me a little bit, but I was like, oh, crap, you know. And then when he started bonding with him more than he wanted, and he was a mama's boy, I was like, no. Yeah, I got to I was like, wait a second. So, I mean, it takes a while. So I always want people to know, like, don't beat yourself up because you didn't
Right.
believe it.
You can't do that.
You just didn't know about it. You weren't part of that. You ignored it. But it's something you learn.
And now by trade, what I do is I work mental health and behavioral health. So I've actually been that guy that like learned doctors will actually give me a call and we'll have like meetings like under the radar, like, about children or adults that they're dealing with where they believe that they're not actually having a psychiatric episode, that they're actually seeing a physical manifestation of things. And they'll ask me for advice, but it's something that would never go to like a network for a show or anything like that, or I didn't really officially talk to because it's, but I mean, I've had countless conversations like that where like, hey, I can't not risk my credentials to get this information public. But what can you tell me about this? So it's definitely opened up different like avenues for us to be able to reach groups of people. Like her grandmother who suffered from dementia and Alzheimer's, similar situation where her whole life never even believed in a ghost, and then started having these situations happen, which then we later validated was actually something that was happening. It's just something, I don't know, it just kind of fell into our laps, and it was the cards that I guess God dealt for us.
Sorry, our cat and dog are fighting over here.
Yeah, there's a little.
Oh no! So I do have to say something. So I was like my whole thing for school was psychology, and that was like my back thing, right? But there's two things that I have learned from doing the work that I do with clients. One, that especially children and adults that have any kind of ADD, ADHD, are on the autism spectrum, they definitely are more prone to have these abilities and gifts. It is my theory, and I will stick to it till the day I die, because there are too many things that I have seen correlations of. I wish I had the credentials behind me, because I would totally write a paper about it and it would have validity. Number two, the whole dementia and Alzheimer's thing is another thing where there is definitely correlation, where they are literally between two worlds, just like a psychic medium is between two worlds.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we've been doing a lot of our time on, is, just helping families and stuff, since we've gone through it ourselves. I mean,
honestly, like when we talked earlier on about us with like paranormal consultations and counselors in a sense, like, I don't know. We've kind of gotten to a point to where, we could go investigate a residential home, but it would probably be more beneficial for us to have coffee for an hour or sit down on Skype or Zoom and have a conversation. It would probably do you better. And we're not trophy like ghost hunters, right? So we're not trying to come to your house and get this trophy piece to put on television. So, I mean, like, I don't know. I think that sometimes that's missed. You know what I'm saying? Especially with like residential cases.
I know when we got to chat with Grant Wilson, I mean, I will honestly say, he even said it, that he says that's a really good thing that we do, is take them outside of the home and actually
That's
talk
actually
to
something
them.
he does.
And he says he does that. He says it's good to get them out of that location, talk to them,
right?
And stay there, because when you're at that location with them, their heart rate is so high. If you actually
exactly, I was going to say the anxiety.
Move away from it, like it's calming them down. You're talking to them. Talk about the weather. Talk about Disneyland. Talk about something else. And and just calm them down and relax, and then give them different methods. And that's what we do a lot of times. Honestly, I have so many friends. I could consider my paranormal family in a way where they're able to call me at as much as they need to, and I Skype or call and talk to them and everything like that. So.
Yeah, I really think that that's one of those things that everybody investigates different. And, if you take that little extra step, and do something like that, it does help them. I mean, this is the whole point when somebody calls you and says, hey, I have an issue, I have a problem, I have something going on. I'll be honest with you, I've never done that, but that's an amazing technique that would help calm them down to where you could probably get some more information that you probably wouldn't have gotten if you were in their own home talking to them, because they're the anxiety and all that stuff that's happening. So, that's just another step forward of saying, hey, we care. And that's a great, and that's something I may have to add to our little thing as well. I mean, Cindy and I did one not too long ago. We actually sat in the home with them, sat at the table for a good while and just talked, talked, and it was a good feeling.
That there's more evidence to be captured. And this is the biggest problem I see with investigators these days, especially like this newer generation that are, the YouTube channels first, the T-shirts are second, the website's third, and then they try to figure out how to investigate later. I mean, like, they go in like in this tactical SWAT team and shit into these places. Like, they're going to freaking, like, like subdue a perp, like in the hallway. And, like, I've had better evidence and better outcomes on investigations by doing what you just said, is forgetting the fact that we're investigating. And forgetting the fact that we're researching, and to sit down and have a conversation. Because a lot of times when you're shotgunning these questions, these ghosts or spirits or whatever it is, like they don't want to. I mean, ghosts are people too. Like that shit's annoying.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like, and I get annoyed by it. So I'd imagine that a lot of but if you just sit down, have a regular conversation, that's when that normalcy comes back to that home or that location, and that's when these things start to interact a whole lot more. And put all your toys up and just talk, man.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Let's just think about it this way. Could you imagine a perfect stranger coming into your house and verbally assaulting you, engaging you, trying to piss you off, getting in your face? Could you imagine that?
Right.
Okay, just because I'm dead, that's exactly what you're doing.
Yep. Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's how we have to think about it. And it just really frustrates me because I know it sounds crazy, ludicrous, but when I watch a TV show, especially a paranormal TV show or anything like having to do with people that have passed on, especially a paranormal show where they are provoking like so much. I mean, like, would you go into a human being's home and start doing that? No, you would have the police called on you.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why it's okay to do it.
Right.
Because it's a person who's passed. They were human. They used to be here too.
Well, these people are going to have a lot to answer to on the other side. And that's my big thing. Like, I've been to a lot of haunted places, experienced a lot of paranormal, and come in contact with a lot of spirits, ghosts, or whatever. I don't want these guys mad at me when I cross over. You know what I mean? I mean, like, I don't want that reputation because, like I said, ghosts are people too, and we forget that in the process.
Well, I do, like, when I try to train new investigators, I usually throw this at them. I say, it's not a ghost aquarium. It's not where you can go in there and just view what you want to view, say what you want to say, and it's not a ghost aquarium.
I like
nice.
that. I should use that at Vulture City. I have people
that ain't got nobody.
Well, when we go out there, we sometimes volunteer and help throughout the day, the nighttime for ones. And people will come up, I didn't see no ghosts, nothing happened. I'm like, well, I'm sorry. I want to say, well, I'm sorry that I didn't have the ghost on a string and doing everything you want. I'm like,
a carrot on a string, just like, it's like, no, it's not a ghost aquarium. I mean, and that's one of those things. It's like, and that's why I tell investigators, if you're going into a location, first and foremost, don't go in there thinking that the damn place is haunted, because you don't know.
Yep.
And you're setting yourself up already.
Yeah.
If you're going to go into a location without any prior knowledge of the location or history or so on and so forth, that's fine. But make sure that when you're done, you come back out and you validate by doing the research and the work, because there are a lot of teams out there that just go in for the hunt, try and do the investigation, come back out, and they think they're done.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
Nope.
Yeah.
If you're only there to get scared, well, then, I don't know what to tell you. You're not, I don't want to say this, but I'm gonna. You're not real paranormal investigators. You're not real ghost hunters. Because to me, being somewhat professional and being real, quote unquote, is you're taking the steps. You're taking the steps to make this, you're helping the people. You're trying to find out what's really going on. You're doing your research. And I just wish more people would listen. I mean, we have to. I mean, most of our conversation tonight has been about, what we should be doing. And it's true. And I feel like a broken record sometimes, especially on Paratalk Radio, where I'm mentioning the same thing over and over and over. But if I don't do it, I feel like if I can reach one person with what I'm saying, then hopefully their investigations will be better. You know what I mean?
I always say, everybody always asks me, one of the questions we always get asked, what would you say to somebody that wants to get into the paranormal field? Don't do residential cases. I mean, do not jump into doing residential cases. You want to, people say, well, that's why I got in there, to help people. Well, then why don't you learn for yourself first? Go out and start going. There's so many ghost tours, ghost haunt locations, so many events, so many paracons. Start going to those first. Meet up with a local paranormal team. Go out with them several times.
Yep.
I'm not saying join them. I'm just saying go out with them. Go learn. See other methods of everybody. I mean, and do that kind of stuff. Research for yourself first before you do anything with residential.
Right.
Yeah, because your first and foremost thing is they're contacting you, and you're supposed to go there and help. And the only way that's going to happen is if you educate yourself. So that's why with training, like for me, training is very, very, very important. It's number one. And I'll be honest with you, it's very hard to get people, especially the newer generation that wants to do this. I'll give them a disc, a DVD of all this information to watch, to listen, to pay attention to. And you know how many times they take it and they don't watch it? They can't come back and answer any questions. They don't really know. And so you feel like you're always, moving forward 2 steps, but then taking a step back because they're not doing the work that you did. It's almost like there's nobody as good as me. You know what I mean? It's good. You actually think this. It's like, why can't all these other people do what I'm doing? Why can't they just think about this first before they jump right in?
It's weird because my husband and I were raising one of those new generation kids, and they honestly, I call him a snowflake because he melts under pressure. I mean, a lot of his friends do. I call them snowflakes. I'm like, you new generation, you just melt under any kind of pressure, and you think, oh, I'm done, I can't do it anymore. But I mean, so I call them snowflakes. But I mean, and my own son is like that. But I will say they give up and they know it all. They know everything. They do not want to take any advice. They know it all. You watch the YouTube video and now I'm a paranormal investigator. And that's how they look at it. And I'm like, wait. No.
Actually, that happened recently with our 20-year-old son. Is he all of a sudden he was like, he came to us, or to me, he was talking to me. Oh, I'm a paranormal investigator, Dad. And I'm like, oh, really? Are you? Well, what makes you a paranormal investigator? You and Mom? And I'm like, no.
No, that's not how it works, honey.
No. So, I mean, and we've definitely, like, at the age of 14, he got in trouble. Actually, I got in trouble. We were doing an event at a big factory that's haunted. And he was supposed to be just there kind of, like, helping out a little bit, not really ghost hunting. And he had gotten, like...
No, he wasn't allowed to ghost hunt at all.
He wasn't allowed to ghost hunt at all. She said that, at least. And he ended up, I found him in a dark corner in the basement with an audio recorder and an EMF detector. And he was like talking to himself, I thought. And when I walked up on him, I realized he was doing an EVP session. And I'm like, if your mom finds out about this, you know that I'm going to be the one that gets in trouble. And he's like, well, you showed me how to do it. And I'm like, I don't know when I showed you how to do that because you're not supposed to anywhere with Dad. I see you. You do TV. And I go out to these events and I know how to do it. And then Mom finally, after she got done yelling at me for like 2 days, decided to finally start letting him, come out with us slowly. He comes to a lot of the events that we host and whatnot. And really like, getting his feet wet with stuff. But we're harder on him than we are anyway.
Yes. So. I mean, to be honest with you, I know what we do. I didn't want my kids to feel pressure that they had to be part of it. My oldest son looks at us like we're crazy. My 27-year-old, like, nope, nothing to do with us. He's proud of us. He's like, oh, Mom, love you guys. Love, all that kind of stuff. One of our biggest fans, but nope, we'll have nothing to do with it. Our autistic son, he has abilities. But my youngest, it was really hard. He wants to be just like Dad. So I didn't want him to be around Dad every aspect of Dad's life on stuff. So I try to keep him away because I wanted him to be him instead of Dad. So even though it would be a good thing, I'm glad that our son is like you. So
I with family, for me, it's like being around this like 36 years now. It's like with my family, it's like they'll constantly ask me questions, or I'll get a phone call, hey, can you come to my house? I got this going on. And then the younger kids, like the teens and stuff like that, will come in. It's like, I'm really interested in this. Can you train me? Can you show me how to do this stuff? And it's like, get permission from your mom and dad, you know, and if they allow it, then I will show you some stuff, and then we'll bring you into this slowly. You know, I mean, education is important for me when it comes to paranormal investigation. So that's like the first place that I send them is like, this is how I started out. I did all the research and I educated myself. So that meant book, newspaper clippings, watching TV, you know, as in like In Search Of, or, you know, all these different things. I mean, but today they have so much more that they could look at, you know, than when I started out. And, you know, we had Hans Holzer, you know, when I, you know, I mean, that's what I had. So there's so many things that we can teach them today. And real quick, it kind of blew me away, as in like upset blew me away. But I had a person that was with me for, I don't know, probably did a half a dozen investigations, and we went to a location. We were there probably 2 hours. And this person comes up to me and says, well, I don't even know why we're here. There's nothing here. I can tell you right now, there's nothing here. Okay, the investigation isn't over with. How do you know this? Well, come on, nothing's happened. We haven't seen or heard anything. Blah, blah. I'm like, that doesn't mean that there's nothing here. Ghosts don't come out on command. They don't, you know what I mean? It's one of those things. You have to finish the investigation. If we've caught something, great. If not, we go back. That's how this works, you know? And it really upset me that this person wanted to tear down, in fact, started tearing down equipment and everything without even talking to me, and said, we're not doing anything here, so let's move on. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, you don't know what you're doing. You just don't. So everything that we've talked about and we've researched and so on and so forth, it's just gone right out the window.
Yeah.
You know, and it amazes me. I mean, if somebody young enough, if somebody's really into true paranormal investigation, being a real investigator, wanting to help people, wanting to find answers, is there life after death? The whole schmeal, the whole thing. Then they would take the time to educate themselves. They would take the time to do their research. They would take the time to just get out there and hands on it with other teams, with other people, get the experience. You know what I mean? And it's just amazing how people think they know it all and they don't have to do it. And it happens a lot.
It does. We do ghost tours like twice a month or once a month at Vulture City Ghost Town. And I will honestly tell you, we have to tell people right at the beginning, we are not going to guarantee you that you're going to have any activity tonight.
That's right.
Or nothing's going to happen. We're not puppet. Yeah, I mean, we have to remind you because people are like, well, nothing happened. I'm like, well, we can't make things happen. I mean, it's just something.
Well, we could make things happen, but it'd be a pretty shitty tour.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
trickery and bullshit.
Yeah, so it's like
it'd be fake.
The natural, and to be honest with you, with us telling people this, almost every tour that we do, people catch evidence by photos, audio, video, all the time. And it's because we tell people.
We change their expectation immediately, and then that expectation's not there. We literally do probably once, almost every tour, I'll get a photograph piece at least, or an audio piece, or a short video clip of like a partial body apparition, or a shadow figure passing. I mean, it's like clockwork. But I mean, again, this is a fucking 30 acre, 16 buildings, giant property with, you know.
So listen, next time I come to Arizona, I'm gonna take my bestie and we're gonna come with you guys to Vulture City. And so I'm supposed to be there in September in Arizona.
We will be here. Come visit.
I've been to Tombstone with my bestie, and we were not disappointed. We had a great time in Tombstone.
Tombstone's amazing.
I always go to Tombstone to investigate, but I always end up in Big Nose Kate's drinking beer, and I forget why I came there.
Wait, say that again. Wait, say that again. What was the last part?
Me of Jerome. I love Jerome, Arizona. Go there to ghost hunt because it's amazing. You don't even have to be in a building in Jerome. Just walk the streets.
Jerome is another one that I want to go to.
The wine is amazing there, and you forget everything when you get there.
Oh, so you started drinking? Is that what you were saying, Jay?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
That's hysterical.
well, we never go anywhere on vacation unless it's a haunted. I mean, our kids won't even let us. I mean, for my son, it's anything, birthday, graduation, anything, it has to be a haunted location. We tried to take him to Disneyland, and it was like the worst miserable time he ever had. And then we told him, like, hey, it's one of the haunted locations. And then he was excited. So it's like we had to bring that kind of aspect into our life because he's not. Family. Yeah, we have a weird family. Our kids like just doing other stuff.
I get it.
No, I think we all get it. I mean, mine's the same way. I mean, I eat, breathe, and shit paranormal, ghosts, Bigfoot, UFOs. I mean, and people go, why are you so weird? And it's like, for me, I'm normal. You're the weird one. How do you not see this or hear this or feel this? Or, you know what I mean? And it's like, I just walk a different path than you. That's all.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and I love it when, because on the side of my truck, it says Genesee Valley Paranormal Investigator. So I'll pull in someplace that's amazing. People go,
yeah.
Really? Are you really a paranormal investigator? And they'll come start asking me questions and tell me their stories and stuff like that. It's the coolest job. And I'm just like, yeah, well, you know, it can be. I mean, but there's a lot of things you don't know about it. And they're like, oh, well, I see it on TV. And that's one of the biggest misconceptions. It's like, it's not like TV. There are similarities, but it's not the same. They're not showing you the 25 hours of reviewing video that you have, you know, and falling asleep at the counter. Or
how many times you had to go back to that place to get that audio?
Well, we recently filmed something like late last year for a TV show. I won't say the show or whatever, but you know, it's on Discovery Plus. But it literally, we filmed, there was 90 hours of filming, right? The whole week.
Oh, 90 hours. Jesus.
It's something ridiculous. And it was for like a 40-minute TV show, which of that TV show only had about, what, a minute or two of even them leading up to showing what evidence was captured. You know, so people just don't know. And then not to mention thousands of cameras.
Cindy and I know that firsthand with Ghost Nation because we did one with Jason and a whole week of just cameras following you and the countless hours. And then, you know, I'm glad that I'm thinking to myself, man, I'm so glad I do not have to sit there and review all of this stuff.
It's a lot.
It is. It's a lot. I think,
you know, I mean, we have.
That's why people are like, oh, I want to do that. What's on TV? And I'm like, okay, well, number one, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
You might want to get a very good job, but remember, you know, and everybody's like, well, why do you ghost hunt at night? Because we always tell people you can find ghosts during the day too. And I would say,
I love that.
I would say, well, ghost hunters, it costs so much money for us to do, so we have daytime jobs, so we can only do it at night.
Well, actually, it's funny because we get that question all the time, and I tell them that here is the truth when it comes to ghost hunting at night. Sure, it can be because we have jobs, but it's also the fact is that it's quieter. There's less traffic. There's more chances of you catching something that you wouldn't during the day because of less noise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Less person going in and out and so on and so forth. So.
And when you get noise, that noise you just heard was Teddy farting. It is
what? All right. So here's a question from Barry Martz. He says, so an off the wall question: what type of ore were mined in the state of Arizona in the 1800s? There are probably paranormal activity at those locations too because of the lack of safety. No OSHA back then.
Well, there was a lot of copper because I think is Jerome one of them that had copper?
Silver. Yeah, Culver City Ghost Town right now on the other property, it's an active gold mine. So that's one thing that's activating a lot of all of our energy and what's going on in Vulture City Ghost Town because it's split property now. So the owners of the Vulture City Ghost Town that's restoring the ghost town, is restoring that, but right next to the fence is an active gold mine, and they're digging into the ground. So a lot of people don't get that, but yeah, gold, copper, and silver is the three biggest things here.
Yeah, and in Ajo, Arizona, that's where we get the stone Ajoite, because it is literally like I think it is quartz that is that melts with the copper runoff, and so it creates this beautiful blue parts in the stone, and it's just absolutely gorgeous.
Well, I know that here in New York, there's a couple mines. I can't remember what they were pulling out of it, but there's a mine up Oakfield Way where there was people that actually had died in the mine, and it's now a haunted. That area is actually very haunted because of people dying in the mine. And it's amazing that you have to stop and think that any place where there's such businesses as mines, gold mines, no matter what it is, when they're digging and where the risk of people dying is higher than normal, that there are things that are going to be happening there. I mean, I've heard of fire departments, their firehouses being haunted because they've lost, firefighters. I mean, there are so many places. Now, I said I've heard, and that's because of the fact is that no matter what we're saying here, folks, about ghosts and spirits and so on and so forth, there is no proof whatsoever that any of this exists. We can't prove it. Okay, we can't prove it.
I need proof.
But we can say that there is evidence out there, what we consider evidence, whether it be our own personal experiences or things that we capture on video or camera or audio devices. And there are still people in science and so on and so forth that say that's not proof. But I think that once you get, 1 million people saying that their place is haunted, or there's so many haunted locations across the world, there's got to be something to it, folks. So keep that in mind as well. Don't always look so narrow at this stuff. Kind of get a wider scope and do some research for yourself if you're really interested, because we're going to continue to ghost hunt. We're going to continue to be paranormal investigators no matter what, because I think the drive that we have is this: A, we want to know if there truly is life after death. B, is there's too many people that claim this stuff happens not to do something about it. We some of us just have that curiosity that we want to find this. We want to experience this. We want to prove or disprove that it exists or doesn't exist. So there's a lot of stuff there that we need to, I think they froze. Jay and Marie?
Oh, yep.
There they are. Okay. Yeah, you froze on us. But yeah, so there are so many things there, folks, that, just keep in mind, have a wider scope of looking at things, because there's just so much out there that we still can't explain in this world. And someday, hopefully, we will be able to say, yes, it exists, or no, it doesn't. I mean, they're making in leaps and bounds in the Bigfoot and UFO stuff. I mean, look at the government with everything that they're coming out with. And, we just saw some stuff put out there where police departments and military places have said that they've known about Bigfoot for years. They have proof.
Yep.
But think about it this way: is just in this last year alone, how many people have experienced paranormal activity that they didn't normally experience because they weren't home during the day?
Yeah.
And now they're having things and realizing that there's a lot more going on, and there's been a lot more people that have been opened in this last year than there were before.
And that's funny, because that's how we started out this whole thing tonight, was talking about COVID and what has happened to this awakening, that people are finally starting to realize that, hey, there could be something to this.
I think a lot of people through COVID it was a devastating thing. So many people lost their lives. It was just sad, everything all around it. But a lot of people, I will say, it made families get closer, because you had to be at home with them.
Or run further away.
Or run away from some. I've heard some actually ran away from each other. But I'm just saying, you were more closer with people at your home. You were like being bonded and all that kind of stuff. So you're not going to, like everybody does, goes to the bars, goes to concerts, goes to the movie theater, goes to all the malls. Well, none of that was open for anybody. So everybody was sitting at the table or sitting at the couch or wherever, eating dinner together because you were making dinner at home. You were doing all that kind of stuff. So I think a lot more people had time to chat, actually sit down, relax, and, just calm down. I think a lot more people, I know we've got a lot more calls like, oh my God, something's going on in my house. And I'm like, yeah, because you never paid attention to it before. So because you were so Americans, or all people actually around the world, are so busy. I mean, and we actually calmed down throughout the whole world.
Hello, Gina. Gina is joining us here as well. Hello, Gina. What's amazing is, and this is something that I've seen also decline since we're talking the generalization here of ghosts and so on and so forth as well, I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but I know that I have. Hello, Mr. Daniel Class.
There's Danny. We were talking about you, my friend.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Barry.
That's awesome.
Barry, the whole para community came together for that roof. That's amazing.
When I was
good stuff. Danny.
Oh yeah, Danny. When I was a kid, we used to do a lot of, through school or churches or whatever. They did a lot of camping. They took it off and they did the ghost stories. They did the, even families themselves. I mean, they got their family together, went out and they told ghost stories. You used to hear that stuff all the time. I don't hear that anymore. Because families have become so busy with their lives, and mom and dad have to work, and then the child has to work to help mom and dad. I mean, we're at a point in our civilization where we're so busy that we miss things all the time.
Well, your faces are usually on your cell phone, going like this. Oh, yeah. I will say, I think a lot more families put those down a little bit.
Well, Marie, that ghost finder, it works pretty good, Just kidding. Don't use that stuff. Jesus. Hello, Sheridan. Hello, Sheridan. Hello, Michelle Provost. Yes, thank you guys for popping in here, and Gina. But yeah, it's amazing how busy our lives have gotten that, we do miss that stuff. And then because of the pandemic, people were staying home because of this year. They started to realize, hey, there's shit going on in my home that I never noticed before.
10:03. Time check.
Oh my God, this has gone by so fast. I didn't even get a commercial in or nothing. Wow. Because we have Dom's show right up. His show starts now too. And he's got a paranormal thing going on in his show tonight too. But guys, I'm sorry that we had to cut it short, but say, let's get you back again. Let's have some more fun and chat and all that stuff.
And absolutely love to chat with you guys, and hopefully we'll be able to come to the next Paracon with you guys too.
That would be amazing.
You guys have Culture City Paracon, so.
I would love to. It's just I don't know how it would get there because I'm taking care of my parents full time, so it's not like I can just leave.
Wait, which one did you guys just say, Marie?
The
Vulture City Paracon.
Yeah, Vulture City.
Oh, Vulture City. Oh, when is that?
October 8th through the 10th.
Oh,
God, that would be so nice. That would be so great. Yeah. So, okay, guys.
Froze again. There you go.
All right. So, anyways, guys, check out their website. It's the yatesfamilyhaunting.com. Check out them. Reach out to them. They're great people. I'm sure that if you have any questions, you got something going on in your home, if you're near them, and I'm sure that they would reach out to you and all that as well. These people are great. We love these people. They're our favorites.
You guys are great too. You guys do amazing work where you guys are at. We appreciate it. All you guys. I mean, you guys are a wonderful part of the paranormal community.
Well, thank you. We do appreciate that. Thank you so much. We try to keep. I mean, one of the things about being a Paratalk, radio, that's funny, is that a paranormal talk radio show is to educate and to bring people on and to show that there's more out there. And, you know, we're a little kooky sometimes, a little weird, a little off the wall, a little,
That is the best part.
you know, some of us have truck driver mouths, but, you know, what? But anyways, I love you, Cindy Poo Poo.
That's okay. I'm okay with it.
There you go. So, but guys, real quick, other than your website, what do you got coming up that some people can come and see you at? Do you have any events coming up soon?
Definitely check out vulturecityparacon.com. That's vulturecityparacon.com. That's the conference that we have going on October 8th through the 10th. Lots of speakers from all over the place, including John Zaffis, Patty Najiri, Marie and I, of course, will be there, and like 20 other people.
Michelle LeBaron, Lisa.
We're also going to be at the, I can't even say that, a paranormal forum out in Washington. That's coming up, but definitely.
It's going to be August 28th. August 29th, ain't it?
I don't know.
Yes. Where's that
We're
one?
terrible.
We're bad. And then we have the Texas Paracon, Dallas Paracon. I'm sorry, Dallas Paracon. We're going to be at as well. Then we're going to be out in in the east side. We'll be in Mass Paracon with Sam and them.
Nice.
The last weekend of September.
Nice.
So we're excited about being out there, seeing everybody again. So it's going to be nice. So, but yeah, I mean, we actually are working on a little project that we can't actually say much more about it. But we can't
understand that.
know about it. So.
Yeah. Well, you know, we love you guys, and you know, actually, you know, Marie, if you can get me over your schedule, I don't mind throwing it up on the feed. You know, I could throw it up there if anybody's interested. I could do that for you. And anything else that you want me to throw up, and then we'll stay in touch, and we'll get you back up here again. Hopefully, not a year and a half away, like sooner than later. But
It gets away from everybody. But hey,
oh man, you know, it's been crazy. But
you guys are awesome.
yeah. Well, we do appreciate that, and we think the same of you. So we just love it. So, all right, Cindy, real quick. All right, guys, thank you.
Bye, guys. Mwah.
All right, so real quick, Cindy, what do you got coming up this week before we move along and get out of here?
This week tomorrow is a Tarot Tuesday, aka Taco Tuesday, which Teddy likes to say. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find me on YouTube only, which is The Psychic Cindy on YouTube, and also PBDC TV YouTube. You can find me on both of those channels tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On Thursday, it is my Just Cindy podcast at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on WLFE-DB.com and also on YouTube, and also my The Psychic Cindy on YouTube.
Awesome. Well, I'm just doing the norm. That's it. Teddy's just doing the norm. Nothing special going on this week whatsoever for me. Just doing what I have to do. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us here tonight and hanging out with us. Hanging out with us and Jay and Marie Yates. Yeah. I mean, we love those people. They're great people. And thank you so much for joining us and hanging out with us. Bonnie, I want to say, Bonnie, thank you for reaching out. I have not seen or heard from you in a long time. That's great. There's so many people. I would love to see more people like that join us. And thank you so much. That is freaking amazing.
Oh, you're cutting out a little bit, my friend.
All right. So.
And freezing. I'm
Cindy.
ready. Teddy.
Wherever there is darkness, there is always
the light.
Thank you for listening to Paratalk Radio with Ted Wolf and Psychic Cindy. Catch us next Monday for another fantastic guest. Please check out our show as well as others on the WLFE DB Radio Network. And remember, like, follow, and share with everyone.
Join us at WLFE-DB.com for upcoming shows and so much more.
Rochester Winter Parafest is back, March 25th, 26th, and 27th of 2022. Come say hi to Naked and Afraid celebrities Melanie Elizabeth and Trent Nielsen, Haunted Case Files Jack Kenna, Monster Quest Steve Coles, and more. This event has it all: paranormal investigators, UFO researchers, Bigfoot researchers, and even photo opportunities for the kids with Buddy the Bigfoot. Oh, okay, adults too. Come on down and get a tattoo from Ink Master Tony DeVille. There are psychic gallery and individual readings, as well as radio personalities, authors, jewelry, makeup artists, and so much more. It's only $15 per person, and children under 10 are free. March 25th, 26th, and 27th of 2022. For more information, go to WLFE-DB.com. Yes, Winter Parafest is back. Valley Oak Event Center, Geneseo, New York, next to Denny's.